All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeals to people to follow COVID-appropriate behaviour, especially in view of upcoming festive season. Government orders random COVID testing for international passengers across all airports in the country. Defence Ministry approves defence acquisition proposals worth 84,328 crore rupees. Winter session of Parliament to adjourn sine today, 6 days ahead of the schedule. And Indian female wrestler Antim Panghal nominated for United World Wrestling Rising Star of the Year honour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting to assess the COVID-19 situation, preparedness of health infrastructure and logistics, and the status of the vaccination campaign in the country. Mr. Modi also reviewed the emergence of new COVID-19 variants and the public health implications. This high-level review meeting comes in the backdrop of a spike in COVID-19 cases in some countries. During the meeting, the Prime Minister cautioned against complacency and advised strict vigil. In view of the upcoming festive season, the Prime Minister has urged everyone to follow COVID-appropriate behaviour, including wearing masks in crowded public places. He also urged that precaution dose must be encouraged, especially for vulnerable and elderly groups. Reiterating that COVID is not over yet, Mr. Modi directed officials to strengthen the ongoing surveillance measures, especially at international airports. The Prime Minister also emphasized to ensure that the entire COVID infrastructure at all levels is maintained at a high level of preparedness in terms of equipment, processes and human resources. Mr. Modi advised states to audit COVID-specific facilities to ensure operational readiness of hospital infrastructure, including oxygen cylinders, PSA plants, ventilators and human resources. The Prime Minister directed officials to ramp up testing and also genomic sequencing efforts, and states have been asked to share a larger number of samples with the designated genome sequencing laboratories for genome sequencing on a daily basis. This will support timely detection of newer variants, if any, circulating in the country and facilitate undertaking requisite public health measures. Home Minister Amit Shah, Health and Family Welfare Minister Mansukh Mandaviya, Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur were among those who attended the meeting. 2% of the total passengers in international flights will undergo random COVID testing on arrival across all Indian airports from tomorrow. Union Ministry of Civil Aviation took the decision to minimize the risk of ingress of new variants of the virus in the country. Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya told Parliament that the government is taking all measures in view of rising cases of COVID globally.
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हवाई अड्डे पर विदेश से आने वाले हवाई यात्रियों के 2% कोविड आरटीपीसीआर रैंडम सैंपलिंग भी शुरू कर दी गई है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री मोदी जी के समस्त नेतृत्व में भारत पहले से ही अमल में टेस्ट, ट्रैक, ट्रीट, वैक्सीनेशन, कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर का पालन नीति के साथ कोविड मैनेजमेंट कर रहा है, उसे आगे भी चालू रखेंगे। इस वैश्विक महामारी के नियंत्रण के लिए हम संकल्पित हैं।
Dr. Mandaviya said the government is fully prepared to meet any possible outbreak of COVID in the country.
हमारे देश की मेडिसिन की रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी करें। आज हम तैयार हैं देश की वैक्सीन की रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी करें और आज हम तैयार हैं आने वाले दिनों में एक्सपर्ट कमेटी ने उसको अनुमोदित कर दिया है नेशनल वैक्सीन को, वो भी आ जाएगा। तो उसमें कोई इंजेक्शन लेना नहीं है, नोज में ड्रॉप डाल देना है, आप सिक्योर हो गए। भारतीय साइंटिस्ट लोगों ने विकसित कर दिया है। कोविड के सामने लड़ने के लिए पूरी तैयारी हमने की है। वायरस बार बार म्यूटेट होता रहता है और आने वाले दिनों में भी एक क्राइसिस आगे बढ़े तो सारा देश एक होके फर्स्ट और सेकंड वेव का जैसा सामना किया है वैसा सामना कर सके, इसलिए पूरी तैयारी भारत की सरकार की ओर से हमने कर लिया है।
Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said in a letter to the Civil Aviation Secretary Rajiv Bansal that such travellers in each flight shall be identified by the concerned airlines, and they must preferably be from different countries. Such travellers will be allowed to leave the airport after submitting their samples. If positive, the report will be shared with the Integrated Disease Surveillance Program and the concerned state for a follow-up action. Mr. Bhushan said such samples should also be sent for genomic testing at the designated Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium Laboratory Network. Karnataka Health Department has made it mandatory to conduct COVID test for influenza-like illness and severe acute respiratory infections cases, and public is advised to wear masks indoors and in closed places. Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar said that owing to the COVID surge in other countries, an advisory is issued by the department as a precautionary measure. He said that instructions are issued to complete 100% vaccination for the third dose in the state. China has sent hundreds of healthcare workers, some specializing in critical care, to the capital Beijing to ease the burden at heavily strained hospitals amid the tsunami of infections. More from our Beijing correspondent.
Chinese authorities have been sending healthcare staff to other provinces but to help in conducting mass testing under the zero COVID policy. Now the fact that outside help is needed in capital Beijing to support the hospitals, which has the top medical resources in the country, highlights how fragile the healthcare system is as it faces an unprecedented COVID-19 wave following the government's abrupt relaxation of COVID-19 controls earlier this month. China's capital has been battered by a surge of cases and the public was complained of drug and test kits shortages, long queues at fever clinics and the rising death toll. Officially, the Beijing government has announced 7 deaths since opening up as they further narrowed down the criteria. Antim Mishra, AIR News, Beijing.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Defence Acquisition Council, DAC, has approved acceptance of necessity for 24 capital acquisition proposals worth 84,328 crore rupees for the armed forces and Indian Coast Guard. Out of them, 21 proposals worth over 82,000 crore rupees are approved for procurement from indigenous sources. These proposals include 6 for Indian Army, 6 for Indian Air Force, 10 for Indian Navy and 2 for Indian Coast Guard. The decision to this effect was taken in the DAC meeting chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Here is a desk report.
Out of 24 proposals, 21 of over 82,000 crore rupees have been approved for procurement from indigenous sources. These include 6 for Indian Army, 6 for Indian Air Force, 10 for Indian Navy and 2 for Indian Coast Guard. The initiative will modernize the armed forces and provide substantial boost to the defence industry in achieving the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The acceptance of necessity will equip the Indian Army with futuristic infantry combat vehicles, light tanks and mounted gun system, providing a quantum jump to Indian Army's operational preparedness. The approved proposals also include procurement of ballistic helmets with enhanced protection level for soldiers. Tripti Srivastav, AIR News, Delhi.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has approved construction of a modern multi-specialty command hospital in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh for the armed forces. The command hospital will be a greenfield multi-storied hospital for provision of technical accommodation for 780 inpatient beds along with 100 crisis expansion beds to cater to an urgent eventuality. The construction of this modern multi-specialty hospital in central India will boost the morale of the armed forces and provide the desired succor to the personnel. Mr. Singh has congratulated all the defence services and urged them to continue their contribution towards nation building. The winter session of Parliament will adjourn sine today, 6 days ahead of its schedule. During 0 hour in the Lok Sabha yesterday, when the opposition members were protesting, demanding discussion over the India-China border issue, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said the Business Advisory Committee has decided to adjourn the House sine on Friday. He said several important discussions are yet to be taken up, along with some bills. He urged the opposition members to allow the House to function. Petroleum and Natural Gas Ministry will organize a one-of-its-kind musical event, Dance to Decarbonize, at the National Stadium in New Delhi today. The ministry has informed that the renewable energy generated through dance will be used to charge electric vehicles. The event aims at showcasing India's target of achieving net zero emissions by 2070, weighing against the country's growing economy, rising energy requirements, and the implementation of responsible energy sources over transformational energy systems for the future. Delhi's Directorate of Education has announced that all government schools will remain closed for winter vacation from the 1st to the 15th of next month. However, the remedial classes will be held for classes 9 to 12 from the 2nd of January to the 14th of next month. The purpose of remedial classes is to revise the syllabus and to enhance the academic performance of the students. These classes will enable the students in revising the basic concepts of the subjects from examination point of view. The News Services Division of All India Radio brings an exclusive interview with Anurag Jain, Secretary, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. In the interview, Mr. Jain shares with AIR how the National Industrial Corridor Program is a master planning exercise. He provides updates about developing 11 corridors in which 4 new townships are completed with state-of-the-art infrastructure.
NICDC National Industrial Corridor Program, in which we are developing 11 industrial corridors and 32 nodes as of now. So in which we have completed 4 nodes, that is 4 new townships. One of them is Dholera in Gujarat, one is Shendra Bitkin in Maharashtra, one is Vikram Udyogpuri in Madhya Pradesh, and one is Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh. So these are state-of-art cities which have been developed, and now industrialists have started setting up their industry there, and they are integrated townships. So there are residential provisions for residential quarters also in that.
This interview can be heard on FM Gold channel from 9:15 p.m. onwards in the program Spotlight Tonight. This interview will also be available on our website newsonair.gov.in and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. National Farmers' Day is being observed today to commemorate the birth anniversary of the 5th Prime Minister of India, Chaudhry Charan Singh, and his contributions towards the upliftment of farmers in the country. On this day, awareness campaigns and drives are organized across the country to educate people about the role of farmers and their contribution to the economy. Cold wave continues to grip the northern parts of the country today as dense fog engulfs the Indo-Gangetic plains, including Delhi, Haryana and Punjab. According to the India Meteorological Department IMD, cold wave and dense fog conditions are likely to continue in most parts of Punjab, Himachal, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. Indian female wrestler Antim Panghal has been nominated for the honor of United World Wrestling Rising Star of the Year. In addition to Panghal, the 5 women nominated for the award include Nonoka Ozaki of Japan, Amit Elors of the US, Emma Malmgren of Sweden, and Andrea Anna of Romania. And now, for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Sarabjit Kaur.
Thank you, Sunil. Mask up, Modi cautions against complacency at crucial COVID meet, reads the headline in Business Standard. The Pioneer, quoting a survey, writes, 64% Indians wary of booster jab over rising number of heart attacks. Hindustan Times has quoted Union Minister Mansukh Mandviya's remark in Parliament that India's Technical Expert Committee on Immunization has recommended the use of Bharat Biotech's nasal vaccine against COVID-19 as a booster for adults. And finally, India has 4 entries in the Oscar Awards shortlist: Chelo Show for Best International Film, song Natu Natu from RRR in Music, All That Breeds and The Elephant Whisperer in documentary categories, reports the Asian Age. And with that, it's back to you, Sunil.
Thank you, Sarabjit. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi appeals to people to follow COVID-appropriate behaviour, especially in view of upcoming festive season. Government orders random COVID testing for international passengers across all airports in the country. Defence Ministry approves defence acquisition proposals worth 84,328 crore rupees. Winter session of Parliament to adjourn sine today, 6 days ahead of the schedule. And Indian female wrestler Antim Panghal nominated for United World Wrestling Rising Star of the Year honour. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.